Elder Scrolls fans have been desperately hoping for a new release in their beloved high fantasy RPG franchise for what feels like an eternity at this point. And, out of nowhere, one seems to be right around the corner. No, the ever so elusive Elder Scrolls 6 still looks like something that's still not quite within touching distance. Or anywhere close to touching distance, actually. But if reports are to be believed, a remake of the Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion is set to release imminently, close to 2 decades on from the 2006 Originals RPG release. Ahead of that imminent launch then, here, we're going to talk about everything that we learned about the purported Oblivion remake from rumors and unconfirmed reports over the last several weeks and months. Let's start off with the basics. Developed by Virtuos. Bethesda Game Studios has its hands full with plenty of its own projects right now. There's post-launch content for Starfield, which is going to continue receiving expansions and updates for the foreseeable future. There's Fallout 76, which remains a constant in the BGS portfolio and maintains consistent live service operations. And there's the Elder Scrolls 6, which has finally entered full production now that Starfield is out. Oblivion's remake, then, is not being made by its original studio, but allegedly by Virtuos, a studio best known for its work on ports, remasters, remakes, and as a support developer. Virtuos is also co-developer on fellow upcoming remake, Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater. Whether Bethesda Game Studios has had any involvement whatsoever in the project is unknown at this stage. Built on Unreal Engine 5. The original Elder Scrolls 4 was built on a Bethesda Game Studios build of Gamebryo, which was essentially a precursor to the studio's now famous Creation engine. The 2006 open-world action RPG's remake, however, is allegedly using a different engine. Some of the earlier reports indicated that the remake would still be using the original game's codebase and systems and render the new visuals through an Unreal Engine 5 pipeline. Later reports have given credence to that as well, with multiple claims having been made to the same effect since then. For instance, earlier this year, in January, the LinkedIn profile of a Virtuos employee mentioned ongoing work at the studio on an unannounced remake built in Unreal Engine 5, likely pointing to Oblivion.
Die!
Reworked blocking. The assumption for many in the lead-up to the Oblivion remake's presumed imminent release is that it's going to recreate the original rather faithfully, rather than being a full-on reimagining. Though if reports are to be believed, the game is still significantly reworking several aspects of its tech and gameplay. The tech we've already touched on, but what about the gameplay? Well, interestingly, it seems like combat will see some notable changes. As per an MP First report in January, the Oblivion remake will feature an overhauled blocking system that will take cues from Souls-like and action games. As per the report, the original game's blocking mechanics were deemed too aged and cumbersome by the remake's dev team, leading to the rework. Exactly what the new system will look like is unclear, but given the Souls-like comparison, we can probably make some assumptions. For instance, stamina will presumably play a larger role. Speaking of which, stamina sneaking improvements. MP First aforementioned report made mention of a handful of other gameplay improvements that the remake will bring to the table. As we touched on earlier, the stamina system is seeing some changes, including the penalties upon depletion of stamina being less frustrating for players thanks to the reworked calculations method. Tweaks have also been made to the stealth mechanics. For instance, damage calculation methods have been reworked here as well, as per the report, while sneak icons will also now be highlighted in the remake. Other tweaks and changes. That's not the extent of the purported gameplay changes in the Oblivion remake. The game allegedly also reworks the archery mechanics as per the MP First report, with ranged combat allegedly being smoother in both first and third person. Hit detection has also allegedly seen improvements, so both the player and NPCs should react to damage more realistically. Shoddy hit detection and impact animations were massively responsible for giving Oblivion's combat its infamous floaty and clunky feel, so hopefully these improvements will make an immediate difference. Finally, it's claimed that the remake will also feature an overhauled HUD and UI, with the goal of being a more readable and easier to navigate experience than the original, which should come as a much welcome improvement, as those who played the original will emphatically tell you. Visual improvements. The Elder Scrolls IV Oblivion is close to 2 decades old now, so any remake or remaster releasing at this stage would ideally have to make some noticeable visuals and tech changes. Sure enough, reports have claimed that this is indeed what developer Virtuos has done as it rebuilds the 2006 classic in Unreal Engine 5, and though the remake hasn't yet been officially unveiled, or even acknowledged yet, it seems we have already seen ample evidence to indicate that the Oblivion remake isn't skimping on the visual upgrades. Screenshots of the remake emerged online earlier this month when Virtuos accidentally left them up on its website for everyone to grab and see, and those images certainly suggest that Oblivion is going to get a pretty significant graphical glow-up. Multi-platform launch. Back when Bethesda was acquired by Xbox, there was plenty of confusion over whether the Elder Scrolls games would start skipping PlayStation releases going forward. But with time, those questions have all but vanished. The last year or so in particular has made it abundantly clear that Microsoft has become a multi-platform publisher for all intents and purposes at this point. And sure enough, rumors have claimed that the Elder Scrolls IV Oblivion remake will indeed be launching day and date for Xbox, PC, and PlayStation simultaneously. Given the massive fanbase that the Elder Scrolls franchise has cultivated on PlayStation since making its debut on the platform, ironically with Oblivion back in 2007 with a belated release, it should come as no surprise that Microsoft, which has already embraced PS5 with multiple multi-platform releases, doesn't see the sense on skipping out on a platform with a major new Elder Scrolls release. Whether we can expect the game to also release for the Nintendo Switch 2 at some point remains to be seen. Shadow dropping imminently. So when exactly can we expect to get our hands on the Oblivion remake? Well, apparently, it's not too far away. Reports claimed earlier in the year that the game would launch at some point in spring, which was then narrowed down to April, which has in recent days been narrowed down further still to the week of April 21st. The same was claimed by journalist Jeff Grubb earlier in the month, and several reports have corroborated that since then. It remains to be seen exactly when it's going to happen, but by all accounts, simultaneous reveal and release of a remake of The Elder Scrolls IV Oblivion is going to happen for PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC at some point in the coming days. Hey, did you know that we at Gaming Bolt upload new videos every day? Stick around, drop a like, subscribe, and hit that bell, and let us know what kind of content you'd like to see in the future with a comment below.